I was not a fan of Heidi Heitkamp. The way she came out and blew apart the fallacy that somehow double taxation is a real thing. She did a marvelous job in the way she combated it. We'll talk about it on the other side, but listen to what she did here.
It does seem that the specific proposals the president is making are broadly popular.
George, they're not. Look, we could set up straw men and say, well, he overturned this executive order, next. But that's not what we were talking about this morning. What Sarah just talked about, the capital gains issue is nothing more than income redistribution. It's socialism. Joe Biden's proposal to do that. Let's remember that investment income, they've already paid taxes on it. You paid taxes on it before you invested it. And now you're going to pay taxes on it again at the same rate that you pay.
But a difference in the rate, it changes the capital gains tax into socialism?
Sure, of course it does. It's redistribution of income, George. And I just want to warn everybody out there, wait until you see what happens to your retirement funds. If Joe Biden gets a 39.6% capital gains, wait till you see what happens to the market. And as most people in America who have their IRAs and their 401ks and self-directed retirement invested in the stock market, they're going to see their retirement income and their college savings income and 529s drop significantly.
It's so
That's going to be the problem.
It's so interesting to hear this allegation of socialism. I know these are buzzwords that work very well with the Republican Party, so congratulations for using them this morning.
Let's correct this idea you already paid on your capital gains. You paid on the initial investment, which then you only pay on the actual gains from the initial investment. So let's not say you already paid taxes on it. You're actually earning income. You're actually getting dividends, or you're getting interest, or when you sell it, you make money. And this is one of the biggest scams in the history of forever on income redistribution. So if you have a stock, you can pass it on to your kids with stepped-up basis, and it's never taxed. You know that there needs to be reform in unearned income. So to demonize it and say it's going to hurt the little guy, that just is not factual, Chris. And
Heitkamp is absolutely correct, but I want to simplify something here. I wrote a book a while back called As I See It, Class Warfare, the Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. And the reason I wrote that is exactly for what Christie did there. He lied, but he gave that lie plausibility by telling folks, if you are invested in the stock market, they're going to take your money away from you and redistribute it to those other people who don't work. Let's clear something up here first of all, okay? It is very important that we clear this up. If you are a working person, you work with your hands, you sweat every day, you go into the office, you do all the things that you have to do, you work, you get up and you get to work at 8 and you're back home at 6 or 7 at night, you work. And all your money that you earn, you're going to pay up to 39% of that in taxes, depending on how much you make, of course. But, so therefore, all that money you pay taxes on. If you are sitting down at your pool with a glass of tea, what we are saying is, why should you pay less of that income that you make, the increase in the value of that stock called capital gains? Meaning, if you bought that stock at $10 and it's now $15, when you sell that stock and make that profit of $5, that's extra income that you made over the actual amount that you paid for the stock. You're going to pay taxes on that, no different than the person who works. Here is the thing that is inverted. The person who works for that money, you would think would pay less in taxes than the person who sits down at their pool, make a whole lot of money by just selling their stocks, and they pay less in taxes, tax rates than you do. It makes no sense. It's a class thing. They're the upper class, those people who can have that, and they decide we will pay less in taxes, and then they have the Christies of the world come out and lie to you. Taxation. It's not double taxation. It is the increase in the amount of money that you've created, that you've made, that you're paying taxes on. No taxes were ever paid on the gains that you have made. No taxes. So it is actually a lie. And it's a lie that for too long, progressives and, not progressive, but Democrats have not been refuting and actually turning it into not only a lie, but a class issue. a class war issue because it really is the upper class having a humongous war, a battle against the rest. Why do I say that? Because they are the ones taking your money. It's funny. I always talk about Republican projecting, right? In other words, the things that they're actually doing is what they accuse you of doing. Socialism, you notice? He just went ahead. Christie said, that is socialism, taking money away from those people who have earned it and giving it to those who haven't. That's not true. Those people that are sitting down at their pool just making money off of stock. You know, the people that say, we make our money work for us. We have learned how to say things like that. I make my money work for me. And that guy who works and cleans the gutter, that guy who works and do all the things that are necessary, somehow that is not smart. But sitting at your pool, having had a lot of money to go ahead and invest, and somebody else that's working giving you money because you're sitting at your pool and your money is working for you, somehow you're not the lazy one. Those guys that are going out there and working and say, hey, we need relief for childcare. We need relief for transportation. We need relief because we are making you money. But you don't want to pay taxes on the monies that on the free money you make from our earnings. Folks, it is a class warfare issue that you really have to be honest about. Unless we get there, unless we understand that these people, the people who are paying the 20% capital gains, they are taking your money. They are stealing from you. It's a legal way of stealing, and it's an antiseptic way of doing it. So we have to get our act together and not allow the Christies of the world to scare you and say, socialism, your retirement is in danger. Guess what? Most Americans don't have a 401k. Guess what? Most Americans are not partaking of what's going on in the stock market. Let's get real. Let's not allow them to do it to us once again. It is time to not only have a wealth tax, because remember, that wealth is your excess labor. That wealth is created from what they didn't pay you. Número uno. Número dos, let's remember one other thing. And that is capital gains should be taxed at a higher rate than ordinary income. Because ordinary income you work for. Passive income, that income that you make from the appreciation of your stock or from dividends of your labor. Because remember, when that stock pays a dividend, that is your labor that created that dividend that that person sitting at the pool sipping their tea is making. Folks, we have to educate ourselves to understand what's going on. Otherwise, the Christies of the world will lie to us and have a contingent who believe them. We can't keep that up. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.